of the House Against Hate. Thank you for the music, thank you for the joy, and thank you for coming here today. And if you've got any money in your pocket, there is a bucket going round for medical aid for Palestine. Please put something in so that at least we can get some medical support for those people that are being bombed and their lives destroyed all over the Gaza Strip with weapons supplied by the US and Britain. Thanks also for just being here today to show that we are not going to be intimidated into not having marches, not having demonstrations, not having not speaking out. And to those MPs over there in Parliament who say these marches are the marches of hate, they have to be stopped, my advice to them is come on one and feel the love. Come on one and understand what the love's about. And if any of them ever bothered to study any history, we only have MPs elected because of the protests of the 19th century demanding a democratic society. And so here today, we're assembled in massive numbers to show why we are opposed to every single form of racism. There is no hierarchy of racism. Racism is wrong in any form. And last night I was at a, to me, deeply moving and very historic demonstration outside Hackney Town Hall, where the people of Hackney turned out to show their solidarity with Diane Abbott for everything that she's been through. What kind of world did we come to when a very wealthy man who can apparently donate very large sums of money to the Tory party can threaten to say that she should be killed because she's a black woman? That is what we've been reduced to by the language of racism within our society and within our media. All those that turned out last night turned out of love and solidarity with Diane. And they were the Windrush generation. They were the people who saw their homes destroyed in the Grenfell fire. They were refugees who had come across the channel out of desperation, who had fled from wars of human rights abuse and environmental destruction. They were it was a unity of people seeing in Diane a symbol of black resistance within our society. We stand with her against the abuse that she has received. And the way in which our media and many of our political leaders have allowed all those that have sought asylum in this country to somehow or other be demonized. Demonized because they are victims. Blame the victim, not the cause. I've been over to Calais and I've talked to people who have walked, or whatever means they've got, to come from Afghanistan, from Syria, from Iraq, from many places all around the world. And then you look at the wars we've created, and those create the refugee flows. So when we said in 2003, the invasion of Iraq will create the hate, the terrorism and the refugees of tomorrow, sadly, we were absolutely right. So let's not allow refugees to be demonized, impoverished, harassed and beaten on our streets. Stand in solidarity with the people who are victims of a brutal system that has driven 70 million people around the world into some form of refuge or asylum. We cannot allow our society to be divided. And the language that's used against refugees coming into this country, change the title, change the context, and it's eerily reminiscent of the language the Nazis in Germany used against the Jews in the 1920s and 1930s. It is the way in which racism, the way in which racism is promoted within our society. And so what I would also say is this, that issues that we face in racism, the issues that we face of racism within our society need to be addressed. They need to be addressed in the way that history is taught in our schools, the way in which the slaves are the people that liberated other slaves from slavery and the slave trade, the way in which colonial history is often misinterpreted and taught within our schools. We need that sense of understanding of history. And that is what our movement is about. It's about uniting people. It's about uniting people. It is about opposing any form of racism. It is about opposing any form of racism, be it anti-Semitism, be it Islamophobia, be it anti-black racism, or any other form of racism is what we're opposed to. But what unites us is the demands for social justice and peace within our society. Decent wages, decent housing, decent education, challenging environmental disaster, and above all, making refugees welcome and creating a world of peace. So today, in our unity here, we are saying no to racism in any form. We're saying yes to the music that unites us. What we're saying is bring peace to this world, whatever the war is, be it in Gaza, be it in Ukraine, be it in Congo or anywhere else. Our unity is against racism and for refugees. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the music. Thank you for the solidarity.
Those are the words of the great Jeremy Corbyn, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to take a second